My name is Susan Beaudin. My maiden name is Leroy, and I'm from Cowessess First Nation. I'm an educator, a teacher for many, many years. I'm also Indian residential school survivor from Maryville Indian Residential School on Cowessess First Nation. I'm also working with the Archdiocese, and I'm working with Bishop Beaudin to help the healing process between the church and survivors and Indigenous peoples. The work is really, really important. We're right now on a 5-year project that's going to be survivor-led. And we have survivors and an intergenerational survivor with us on the committee. We work very, very hard with the Archdiocese so that people will understand the importance of the trip to Rome, the importance of the work that we're doing, the importance for Indigenous survivors to heal. Well, I think the people, the delegations that are going to Rome are going to have opportunity to let Pope Francis know about our issues with the church and how we need certain things from the Catholic Church in order to either begin our journey of healing or as part of our journey of healing. There's been many, many harms that were inflicted on all of us that went to residential school, and I feel it's really, really important for the Pope to understand that we're still living that harm. It's with us all the time. And he has to know how much of a loss of culture and language. People don't understand that in our languages are teachings. They're embedded in the language. And so to take that spiritual way of living with all of creation really damaged us. And we're struggling today to get that back, to learn those old teachings, and to become those wonderful spiritual people we were before the Catholic Church came and changed that. A very important, I think, aspect that the colonizers, the non-Indigenous people need to hear is that we had very, very powerful spiritual ceremonies. And before the newcomers came to this land, before the British came, the French people came to this land, we were told in our ceremonies that all these people with white skin were going to be coming, and that there's going to be coming many, many, many. So we were told in our ceremonies to welcome them and to have a brother-to-brother relationship with them. And so at the time of treaty, our ancestors knew that they were negotiating with the British Crown to have that treaty relationship, that kinship relationship that they had with their families and their communities. They wanted to share the land. They wanted to share how they lived on the land. They wanted to share everything that they had so that these newcomers, these new people that we were welcoming, would survive. This was what we wanted as Indigenous people right from the beginning. We wanted to be recognized that this was our land, and we wanted to continue with all the freedoms that we always had. But as soon as the Indian Act came into place in 1876, all of those freedoms were taken away from us. The Indian Act still is in existence and used by the federal government today to suppress us and oppress us and to colonize us. And I think the Pope, when he comes here, needs to talk about colonization and what it did to the Indigenous people, and how sore he is that this happened because of the Catholic Church and that doctrine of discovery. So it's really, I think, allowing people to understand, to look at it from Indigenous perspective. There's a word in Cree, it's called kiam, kiam. Never mind, forget about it. We've lived kiam for 500 years. Let's not live kiam for the next 500 years. Let's work together to develop that treaty relationship, that brother-to-brother relationship, that familial relationship with each other going forward. It's not going to be an easy journey, but in order to get better as citizens of Canada, as people that are living on Indigenous lands, non-Indigenous people have just as much work, if not more, than we do to do before that happens. And the Catholic Church, I believe, is going to be a big, big part of that. They have to be a big part of that. When we think of reconciliation, it means the coming together of two entities. And if it's only one entity that's doing all the work, this one's not doing anything, it'll stay like that. It won't get better, but I want it to get better for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, because they're such beautiful little beings that have the whole world in front of them. But as an Indigenous people, when I see that world, it's not the same as the white world. They'll always be treated in a certain way if we don't wake up. And I don't want my grandchildren to be treated like that. I want them to live in a loving world, a peaceful world. And that's all we want in our hearts of hearts. I want to say a special thank you to Bishop Beaudin for accepting us, those of us that are working on the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, for accepting us and hearing us, and the gifts he gives us every time we talk with him, of acceptance, of knowing we know what we know, of just being so generous and so wanting us to be leading this initiative. And because we can lead, we actually can do it. We don't need a non-Indigenous person to tell us how to do things. And that's how it's always been. So I feel really, really appreciative of the people that I work with at the Archdiocese.